Hey guys, I wanted to talk about something that most people don't associate with good health and even good performance in terms of career and athletic performance, that kind of thing. So, um, Tracy and I are going to show some of our bed moves. I think that's a no. Um, but this is a big topic because you guys might have heard different theories about sleep and how that affects your life, but I want to share a couple stats with you. Number one, I read a study where if you get 5 hours of sleep or less per night, you have a 67% increased chance of obesity. And before I get into all the correlational type things, I would just say that most of that is being shown to be hormonal, immune system related. It's not just that you're up longer so you're eating more, although that could be a factor. Even if you wash all those things aside, those are still the stats. And there are big other reasons. You probably heard that Ariana Huffington came out with a book and talked a lot about this because she ran herself just almost into the grave without getting enough rest, that kind of thing. So, want to go over some things that I think are really important to do in bed. She just keeps laughing. This is Tracy, by the way. She's going to be like Mr. Wilson on Tool Time behind the fence. I don't think she's going to show herself. Good sport, though. She's hanging out here just letting me do my thing. One of the most important things to do in bed to sleep is not to bring a lot of work. You guys know this. So I will say that if you can associate not work with being in bed and at a time you're supposed to be relaxing, but things that are not associated with your normal daily activities. I made it a habit when I was in graduate school. We were already married, we had kids, and I just created this principle, self-imposed, that I would not make school something that detracted from my family time. So I would study at lunch and so forth, and then when the kids were in bed and we were ready for bed, that's when I would study. And so sometimes from 10 till midnight, 10 till 1, I would come to bed, and I've kept that. So now, oftentimes when I'm ready for bed, I'll come into normal sleeping hours and listen to a lecture, something like that. I'll do some things for school. Jean Jacques Rousseau. Why do all French philosophers look like little girls? I don't know. Diderot, things like that. But one of the things I don't bring is work. You'll never see me with the fundamentals of gastroenterology or something in bed. A lot of people do bring, reading material, things like that, and so forth, but it should be relaxing. Shouldn't be your phone. I left my phone over there, actually. You don't want to get tied into doing email and things like that. A lot of people have gotten into the habit of using meditation techniques, and for relaxation, physical relaxation, I think that's incredibly appropriate. If I'm ever really wound up and I just can't get to sleep, I'll go through some of those things. I even have some apps that have meditation type music and all that. And it's fantastic. But there is a way you can use your own mental imagery to create that relaxing place. I helped my youngest daughter a couple weeks ago. She was really struggling with sleep. And so I created this visualization technique where I said, where's the most fun, relaxing place you can go to in your mind? Whether it's something you've just imagined or a real place you've been to. And I shared with her what I did when I was like 7, 8 years old. Remember this time when I was a little boy and we lived on a farm, and I went it just way back in this cornfield, and we had this huge hedgerow with trees and so forth, and I just laid back. It was one of those real weird points of self-awareness, when you're a child, where I was looking up at the sky, watching the clouds, and I just had this overwhelming feeling of just peacefulness. And it was it was weird for that age. I'm sure developmental things were happening in my brain and so forth, but I will sometimes do that. I'll imagine that, and I'll go kind of to that place, and I can explain, or we'll let Corey explain the neurology of all that later. But anyway, are you gonna chip in with this at all?
It's because her fan didn't work, honey.
Okay. Uh, just gonna go there.
Yeah.
Okay. she said my daughter's because her fan didn't work, so she was too hot, and I'm going into all of this psychoanalytics. Imagine that. Some other things though that can disrupt sleep is eating too close to bedtime or being too hungry, one or the other. So one of the things I love to do is just bring the Vitamix to bed and always make sure I've got protein handy because that's important. No, that's actually not true. But some people think they have to have a meal right before bed and so forth. And if it depends on how far away you were from dinner, how long it's going to be before you eat breakfast and that kind of thing. So that really does cut both ways. Some protein, not a lot of carbs before bed because that can really kind of wire some people up. And then there's the body fat conversion with increased insulin and all that. So that's obviously fine. But the main thing is to make sure that you get enough sleep. It's not just the quantity, of course, but the quality. But I think you're going to find out that if you can consistently get, as they recommend, about 7 hours, sometimes going longer than that is counterproductive. You're going to see some big benefits, but they truly are showing more and more autoimmune disease type issues, even some things you wouldn't consider with immunity, like heart disease, are just higher in people who don't get enough sleep. So there's that time your brain, your body just needs to shut down and go into full parasympathetic nervous system mode to recover, relax, that kind of thing. And I will say, I've seen in my own clients, people who get the least amount of sleep really do struggle with losing weight. Sometimes just as a single variable, we can talk about sleep and start scheduling more, and those people start losing weight even faster. So just some little tips. I just really wanted to emphasize how important it is for recovery, for even weight loss, for immunity and so forth, and just to make sure that you're getting into the routine of spending that time sleeping.
I'm going to live forever.
Yeah. Tracy, I'm not kidding. We can come to bed and within 3 seconds she's just flat out snoring. She has no problem sleeping. But, the one thing that I always make sure we do too is make sure you always have your best friends with you, like my cutout of Lane Norton here, because everybody knows he likes to be involved and so forth, and he makes me text him pictures to make sure he's got his spot right here. That's just Lane. That's just how that goes. But anything you want to say there, Tracy, about this whole process of being in bed and what's important in bed?
No.
Nothing at all about bed? And with that, we'll say goodnight.